Okay.
Yeah. And I guess to do a little intro, my name is Brian.
I'm Avery,
This is Avery.
Brian's roommate and friend.
My roommate, friend, coworker. We know each other from the past 2 summers. We've worked together in the Pacific Northwest, guiding on Mount Baker mainly, but recreating all over the mountains there, from Rainier to Boston Basin to I don't know where.
Baker.
To Baker. So a lot of time on Mount Baker, to base camping at Mount Baker, and
We've spent a lot of time in a tent.
skiing. We did stuff in Ecuador together. So and now we live together here in Salt Lake. So between the two of us, mainly Avery, we have a decent amount of experience. So that gives us some
mostly Brian
leg to talk thing. Some leg to talk on. Yeah, Rusty, what are your thoughts? What do you want to hear? Alpine.
Yeah, I'm curious because I'm always the one that brings everything and heavy, and so I don't do a lot of Alpine, honestly.
Well, like how to not carry the kitchen
How to,
sink.
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Like,
We can
yeah.
talk about lightning things too.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
You want to dive into it?
Yeah. So wait,
Right.
we got packing later and then just like general.
Any
And you just want the general gist, yeah? And if you think of anything.
Yeah, does anyone have any specific goals coming up? Not necessarily. Yeah, go for it.
I'm trying to just take a big step up, honestly, into my backcountry skiing. That I feel like this is my 4th season moving into the outdoors. I took my Airy 1 2 seasons ago, just trying to figure out like what I should bring safety wise versus, but yeah, like also not bringing too much. Like I definitely am an overpacker as well. But I don't really want to get a backpack bigger than 30 liters for a day trip. So how to
Fair.
kind of
Valid
jam
for day, yeah.
Super fair. Ski related. We can talk about ski related stuff. I think Victoria is the one that should be talking about ski related things. But we can add a little bit of that too.
Talk about what we bring.
Yeah, talk about what we bring. We've been out a decent amount recently. So.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
Okay. So do you want to talk about our acronym or it's not an acronym?
Okay, we came up with 4 categories. Well, 5 categories.
Yeah.
So you're thinking we're gonna divide it into cooking, climbing, camping. What was the
There's another C.
cooking, climbing, camping, clothing, and other. So we're really excited about our 4 C's. And then
you gotta find like a thesaurus and look up a C word for other.
yeah,
For
cooking,
other.
climbing, camping,
Yeah.
And pooping.
Fencing.
and crap.
And crap.
And
Oh, yeah,
peeing.
Leah said crap.
Oh,
And
crap.
peeing.
Cars.
And peeing.
Yeah, cars. Like
Cars. Cars starts with a C.
Kudos.
Back. They're talking.
Okay.
They're talking. I'm muting us again.
Okay, game on.
What are you doing?
It's probably the easiest because you pretty much need a stove. For us, we initially made this pile of gear with the intention of like we're maybe trying to do the north ridge of Mount Baker, which is technical ice climbing to the top of Mount Baker and then a descent along a crevassed glacier to get down. And now the road is open, so you can easily do it in a day trip.
Or like a night, 2 days.
Or a night, yeah. Yeah, I guess we could do it.
Oh, we have camping.
Yeah. We do have camping stuff. Okay, let's do it in 2 days.
1 night.
1 night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we can include camping. Yeah. So we're gonna start with the stove. I just have this Jetboil. I wouldn't recommend this necessarily. Would you recommend the reactor? Yeah, I would also recommend the reactor. So we both vote for the MSR reactor, which we've used incessantly, but I know Ty has it. I don't have it. So this is the only one we could find. The reactor is by MSR, and it's similar to the Jetboil in the fact that it has a modular pot systems with it. Makes it super efficient. And it's just a little I think it's a little less finicky than the jet boil. Like this thing has broken on me. The reactor doesn't really break. It's kind of like indestructible. That's
Yeah.
why
Is the reactor like smaller like that, or is it the normal size of a jet boil?
similar size.
Okay.
It has interchangeable pots, so it's similar to this in the fact that it's like one unit, but the reactor has a 1 liter, a half-liter pot, a 1 liter pot, and a 2 liter pot
Mhm.
that you can get. So you can choose what size.
It's probably like this
Yeah.
big, like the actual burner.
Yeah.
It's like pretty small.
Yeah, no, I think I have it.
Sick.
There you go.
They're awesome.
But I didn't know what it was called. I was just like, oh, cool, I have the MSR version of a jet boil.
That's
Yeah, is
great.
it's like
Yeah.
this. It's like a little puck.
Yeah. Mine's
Yeah.
like the 1 liter though, so it's a little taller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Those
I'm
are
happy I
great.
have the cooler thing. No, you're good.
I was gonna say those are great for like any altitude too. For them,
Sure.
especially in the lower 48. Like even on Denali, people use them for higher altitude stuff because they're like attached to the pot. You don't have to worry quite as much about. I mean, to some extent, like wind, right? If you're in a windstorm, it's gonna be hard to light, but like generally, altitude you don't have to worry too much about it, and like weather, they're super easy to light in all sorts of like inclement weather. Yeah.
Another stove I'd recommend if we're doing the Northridge like early season, then you might have to melt snow. If you're needing to melt snow, then if it was just the two of us, maybe we'd probably still do the reactor. If you're trying to melt a lot of snow and maybe you're on like a longer trip, I would go with the XGK by MSR, which is a white gas stove, and having redundant different stoves is nice because when one doesn't work, you have the other one. And the XGK is great, runs off white gas and super efficient, and it's really good for melting snow. So if you don't have running water, then that's a good option.
Yeah, going into that, we also for a kit, you want to bring like a drum probably. This is just like an ultralight. There's lots of versions also by MSR, 6 liters. You can get like a 4 liter and a 10 liter as well. Those are really great, even if you're just one person even. I would also bring like 1 or 2 Nalgene's at least to like drink while you're hiking. But if you're having to melt snow or you're gonna have like water when you get back to camp, it's really great to have like a larger water storage, and these weigh
The
nothing.
drum is a filter? The drum
No,
the drum
sorry,
area?
it's just storage.
It's just storage, okay.
That being said though, I do have a filter here. Like when you're melting snow, right? You don't really need to filter water quite as much because you're boiling it. Later season stuff, or if you're worried about the water quality, I really need to get a new filter because I've had this for like years. But it's called the Hydro Pack. The Hydro Packs are awesome, and it's like this little like filter, and then you can put it on like different liters of bottles. So like this is like a 1 liter, so I would just like literally just like scoop in a stream and then put this on and then just like drink it as I go down
Does
the trail.
that cap go on to like Nalgene's
Can you
or?
tell? This is yellow.
I've used it a lot. But these are awesome. I would totally recommend if you're looking for.
Does that screw onto like anything almost?
No.
No, it's pretty specific.
Okay, so it goes specifically with whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but the cool thing is you can buy like different volumes for the bags.
Yeah. Oh, because it needs to be squeezable, right? I
Mhm.
imagine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is a 1 liter.
Oh my god, I need to get my
Yeah, yours is yellow.
silt this here on the glacier. But even with like tons of silt, it still filtered really well. So they're awesome. Okay, so like cooking generally, another thing I would say that like might help lighten your pack is like with the reactors, you can't really cook with them. Like really they're just for water. So you probably are going to
Actually,
be
yes.
bringing reactors as well. They're like super
Oh yeah.
powerful.
similar
You
to,
can't
like-
like really control the
Yeah.
heat on them.
Yeah.
So like if you're trying to cook something like a meal in your pot, it's pretty hard. It's easy to burn things. And you just have to like do dishes, which sucks. So
Do a lot
yeah,
of couscous.
everything is like freeze dried or dehydrated meals. Like they're kind of expensive, but you can also make your own if you're awesome like that. Or just things that take really just hot water is a really good way to have like a lighter pack. That way you don't have to bring like soap or a sponge or worry about cleaning any of that stuff.
And the pro tip, wait, can you grab one of your, do you have a meal in there? The pro tip is you don't bring, so if you need wag bags, you could bring one of them, but you eat this. And then you bring like a little tiny dog poop bag. And if you need to use a wag bag, you poop in the dog poop bag, and then you just put it in this after you're done, after you've eaten it. And then it zips closed and it's pretty smell proof.
I was gonna say it really helps with the smell. You don't
Yeah.
smell it in this.
You don't smell it in these, and then things are less likely to eat it too. So that's cool.
I don't think I could fit
Go ahead.
my into there.
What do you think?
He doesn't think
Yeah, the amount
sure, yeah.
of
it could be a problem.
volume that comes out of me, I don't think it's gonna fit in that thing,
Maybe for your dog.
honestly.
For your daughter.
Yeah.
The other thing I would mention is bring a spoon and like a mug. You don't need a mug can be your plate and your cup and your bowl. And you don't need a fork. You only need a spoon because you can eat anything with a spoon.
Also, if you don't want to bring a mug, you don't have to bring a mug. If you just reuse that thing,
True.
which is what I do for like breakfast, you just make one. You can make your oatmeal in the oatmeal container, which I think everyone knows at this point.
What do you drink your coffee out of?
Out of the reused Mountain House thing.
I
You
used
just
to
toss
mine
your
out
coffee
of
in
this
there.
baby Nalgene
Oh, that's good.
or out of a mug.
Nice. I don't like the mug. I never got on board.
Oh, I'm a big fan of the
I
mug.
hate the
But you
mug.
could avoid also the mug. I
Waste of
guess.
weight.
Same.
Cooking.
Any questions on cooking?
Yeah, what other things can we talk about? Oh, powdered coffee is amazing. It's worth its weight in gold, and it doesn't weigh that much.
Tea is nice.
Tea is good.
Especially if it's gonna be cold at night. And you just get bored of water.
I feel like the powdered coffee is so much stronger than regular coffee too. Like
Very like
getting
acidic.
an Alpine Start with like an espresso powder, you're like, woo, there it is. But yeah.
It's especially nice if you just don't add water to it and you just throw
Oh,
it
just
back.
eat it or
Then
that might
it's
be something to your
raw.
stomach acid.
People do, but I
So-
would not drink it.
So strong you can chew it.
Yeah, I think that's like probably mostly for cooking. Do you have any questions about cooking? Stiff. All right, what was our next one? Cooking,
Camping?
camping, so
Camping.
like sleeping,
Sleeping. Okay. So
tent.
let's do tent first. Yeah. If we were doing Baker, I would say, what tent would you prefer? Hold on, let me think of my vote first. I would say
Depends on the time of year.
depends on the time of year. I would say if I only had one tent, it would be the MSR single wall AC2.
Oh yeah, that's
I
a
like
good
single
tent.
walls. I mean, they get
I
wet.
don't like single walls.
The moral of this entire conversation is that it depends.
It depends. I
Uh,
like the MSR. What are they? The elixirs? They're like.
Well,
pretty-
what style of tent?
what was that?
What style? You know, there's like
So that-
100 different kinds of tents.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well, that's why it's so common.
Yeah, yeah, because like what you just described isn't like a 4-season tent. It would be a 3-season. It depends on the season. Like you could certainly take an elixir on that kind of trip. You could certainly take a single wall 4-season tent. It depends on the season. I would say if the weather sucks,
4 seasons.
wait a day. And just
Yeah.
don't go. Like when me, Vic, and Spencer did the Northridge this past season, we just didn't bring a tent because it was gonna be nice weather, and we just slept outside, and then we didn't have to carry it. And that was
Yeah, my Alpine is the Sierras, and we don't. Other than last winter, like we don't usually have snow, so
So nice.
or big storms.
That's so.
So yeah.
How are you going heavy in the Sierra when there's
When
no
I go
snow?
backpacking and
Okay.
everything. But I mean, even when I go like, I don't know, on a bigger trad day, I still bring like way too much water, way too much food. Because I'm like, yeah, I need a buffet when I'm out there, and then I don't eat anything, and uh, but
Yeah,
or I'll just bring a lot of extra everything. I don't know. And yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
hear
think
you on the
style
food.
tent depends on the weather and the objective a lot.
I would say general rule, if you're gonna be sleeping in snow, probably want a 4-season tent. There are exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking.
Yeah.
And then like what Brian's, if you guys know the difference between like a single wall tent and then what?
Double wall?
Is that what it's called?
Mhm.
Double wall tent. Single wall is like basically there's no rain fly. Double wall is there's the tent and then there's the rain fly. Personally, I like double walls. It is a lot heavier, I will say that. If you're gonna be in inclement weather, it's really nice to have, especially because you condensate in a tent, right? And so if you have a
Mhm.
single wall and you have no way to like ventilate, it just gets soaking
Bad.
wet in the single wall
It's really
tent.
bad.
But if it's nice weather-ish, like even if it's just like maybe gonna be overcast, single wall is great. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to go on tents. Depends on how many people too.
I would say for like a larger mountain objective, not any of the big things, but anything you're like traveling on glaciated terrain, you're going for a while. I would say, oh man, I would say train
I would say
two. Okay, yeah. Trango 2, MSR. Those are indestructible. Yeah, the Catabatic for sure, but good luck getting that. Okay, they're indestructible. Trango 2s. They're slightly heavy. They're very heavy. They're like 10 pounds. But you can divide it between people and then it's not that bad. But the like luxury you get from them,
They're so nice.
unmatched.
They
It's-
keep you dry.
They keep you
and
dry
warm.
when it's horrible out. Warm.
They at least
We're
like
super
them
biased.
get like ripped away by the wind and like fine.
Yeah.
So they're pretty great tents.
Okay, other camping. Sleeping bags. So you need a sleeping bag. There's a whole discussion on down or synthetic. I would vote. Do you have a vote?
Mhm.
Down?
Mhm.
Yeah, I always go down. I always go down. Some
Just
people
'cause of
say
weight?
synthetic because then if it gets, what is the argument? If it gets wet, then it'll still something. I just don't like getting my sleeping bag wet.
Yeah,
So
you should prioritize not getting your sleeping bag wet because if anything happens, you want a dry sleeping bag to keep somebody warm. Like your clothes can get wet, maybe like try not to, but if they do, that's okay. But if you can like go to a dry sleeping bag at the end of the day, you're gonna be fine.
and maybe there's exception if you're on like some crazy expedition where
True.
you have like less choice about things, but
Try hard.
realistically, that's like an exception, I would say.
Mhm.
Like of all the days we've been out, I always go with my down bag because
Yeah.
it's tiny, compressible, it's really
So
warm, and that's great. Another way you can save weight is getting a double bag, which Vic and I do, and that's amazing because
The couple bag?
yeah, the couple bag. See if I have the big. Okay, this is the 1/2, and it compresses down to like
So
nothing.
cool.
And then this is the other, which compresses down to like a normal size. And yeah, like this compresses down to about this big, maybe, which is like my sleeping pad. And yeah, the other one is absolutely unnoticeable.
Or zipping and sleeping bags.
Or zipping sleeping bags
That
together.
is cool.
Oh, it's so
You
nice.
get so warm.
Yeah. And then if what?
That's sick.
Yeah, the double bag.
Yeah.
I like this because the bottom layer is just fabric. It's not embroidered.
That's really nice.
So it's not like you're carrying up
extra.
for to like sleep on top of it.
Pads. Do you know
Pads.
what
You got this.
Okay, pads. General rule of thumb too is like if you're sleeping on snow or glacier, it's really nice to be. It's like these like weigh nothing. They're kind of big, so you have to put them on the outside of your pack for sure. But it's really, they insulate a ton. This is, what is it called? The Z-Light
Yeah.
by Thermarest. Oh, it's technically. But anyways, you want to have this to put on your tent because it like helps insulate, and if you're like on snow, the bottom will get kind of moist. So it's like kind of like a nice general like padding floor to keep all your stuff dry. And then some people kind of just sleep on these. It's probably not the comfiest. You can get away with it. But to like have a really good night's sleep, then you put your blow up pad on top of it. This is not my pad. This is Brian's.
I don't recommend it either. I got the Mondo. I got the Mondo size, and it's like way too big and doesn't fit in a 3-person tent with 3 people.
I have a Thermos Neo Air, and that's like pretty good. It's a compactable size, and yeah, it's just a little skinny. Like
It
kind of, it's
crinkles.
like and it crinkles so much. Oh my god.
I like the one I used to have, which is this, but the regular size, which is Rapid SL, Rapide SL. I like this, but the regular size.
Another thing is like if you're cowboy camping like in the Sierras, it's nice. I'm sure you know this, but it's like nice to have the foam pad too, because then you're like not worried about popping your pad on rocks or whatnot. Even like when we don't sleep on snow, I still bring it because it's comfier. And they make like a grate, you have it on the outside of your pack, and if you like stop halfway up the trail or something, you can just like pull it out and sit on it, and keeps all your stuff and your bud dry. So
I have a note on cowboy camping. On alpine routes, if you're not bringing a tent, I would say don't bring a tent for a lot of things.
check the weather first.
Yeah, check the weather, and if it's nice, don't bring a tent, and if it turns bad, then just bail. That's really bad advice. But if you don't have a tent and yeah, you're like worried about, you bring an insulated pad or an inflatable pad and you're worried about it popping, you can take your rope and like all of your climbing gear that's soft and just like pad the bivy spot that you're sleeping in, and then like I've definitely taken an entire rope out of its coil and just laid it on the dirt, which is not good for the rope, but it's good for you sleeping, and it makes it level, and
Yeah, like
it makes it
all
so
of
it's
that
not gonna
goes
pop.
back.
Yeah. I like that. Or like your backpack too. Like you can take your backpack and like lay that down first, and then like stack your ropes on like one section maybe to like try and get the whole ground covered, and then you put your insulated pad on. And then your stuff will blow away too.
Pillows.
Pillow.
I don't think you should ever bring an actual pillow, because you can just take your puppy, and what I do is I stuff my entire puppy in the hood, and it makes this like perfect down pillow. Because you never really, unless you're absolutely freezing, you're never going to be sleeping with your puppy on. So some people bring like actual. Do you bring an actual pillow?
Yeah. I'm a
yeah,
big
you're
pillow
stupid.
person.
I am too, but this like I'm saying like I sleep bad without a pillow, and my jacket's enough usually.
Yeah, we
That's my
never had.
jacket been cold. And
Because you have to be naked in your down bag to keep you warm.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm a big pillow person. I have like a little inflatable pillow.
Those
I
are
like
cool
it.
too.
We
I
never
mean,
had
definitely-
pillows before, and now we have 2, and we swear by them.
Nice.
You're a pillower.
Yeah, we have 2
I'm the
little
same
camping
here.
pillows now. Yeah,
Two times outnumbered.
your sleep is so much better.
It really is so much nicer with
Yeah.
no neck stiffness either the next day. So
Yeah, so much
All I'm
better.
saying is I need a pillow, and I sleep well with my down jacket pillow.
I'm extra, and I use the down jacket as well because I need 2 pillows when I sleep. So I'm kind of a pillow princess. But yeah.
Playing for both teams. Got
Yeah.
both. Hell yeah.
What
Yeah,
other camping?
people sleep without something. Tent.
You also
sleeping
do the
bag.
helmet. I've done that. You put the helmet down and then like a layer on top of it. Well, you don't like you
That
put
sounds like neck
stuff
pain,
on it. But if you
really.
want to like elevate your head, but you don't have the supplies to do it.
Some people will do it like, okay, so like climbing ropes. You don't
Yeah.
need it like to be
Oh.
under you. You
Yeah.
like put it under your pad, and it like gives like a little
Yeah, a
like
little bump.
uphill, to your head, and that's pretty comfy. Or a backpack.
Yeah. The rope pillow is quite nice.
Yeah. I guess our other camping could be like camp shoes, like down booties.
I'm not a big booty person. I would say
You don't
no.
bring other shoes.
No, I did once and I was like, that was a waste. I didn't like
If you're
it.
trying to go light, and especially if it's like a one night thing, I would not bring them. But I also think it's like horrible. I hate being in climbing boots when you don't have to be, so I usually bring down booties to be in.
Yeah.
They can be treacherous on snow. So
I feel like I would rather have trail runners and mountain boots.
that's the that could
Then-
be another option. I'm
Yeah.
thinking snowy. You're right. If
Yeah.
it's not snowy, I'd probably have trail runners.
It's just snowy.
I'd probably have mountain boots and down booties.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
But you can also totally just go mountain boots, and that saves a little bit of weight and room, and your feet will probably be a little sad, but they'll be fine.
Any
Okay.
other camping?
I don't think so.
Questions on camping are second C. What did we miss?
Yeah, I didn't
What do you guys bring that you like? Oh, my little espresso maker. Yeah, I'll be right back. Engage the crowd.
Do you guys have anything that you like to bring that we didn't for camping?
I feel like you kind of covered it, but it kind of depends to where you're going to be going. Like if you're going to the desert, you're probably not going to need the rainfly, I guess, but vice versa. You have
Yeah.
an espresso?
I got a question as far as like timing goes. Do you when you in this theoretical 2 day trip we're doing, are you doing the summit on the next day or the first day?
The
Depends.
night depends.
But probably
Yeah, like Alpine start in the morning or
The Alpine start the second day.
yeah, and then get out.
gotcha, okay.
Usually it depends totally, but like for Baker, in this theoretical Northridge of Baker, you'd probably walk into camp like midday or if not earlier, get there early afternoon, sleep, eat, sleep
Sleep as much as you
as
can.
much as you can at weird hours, and then probably get up like midnight to 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Do the climb, come back, pack up.
and maybe later if you
Yeah.
feel like with like
It depends on conditions too.
yeah.
But like generally that's so it's like a pretty heavy second day.
Okay.
And if it's bad weather, then you can just hike out.
And you just sleep in and walk out.
Yeah, and you sleep in and walk out.
Brian's a fair weather mountaineer.
I am. I
Which
highly recommend it.
yeah.
Yeah. I think going in bad weather is just
Kind of
not fun.
and not fun.
Oh, this is more cooking, but check this out. Little mini espresso maker. This is the big version. It gets this big.
Espresso maker.
Rusty's not even looking.
I'm asking her to look.
Oh,
asking the one
nice. Okay.
I don't
and it
drink
pumps
coffee.
it like this, and it makes amazing espressos. And I've brought it to base camp on Baker plenty of times.
That's awesome. Out of curiosity, how much does that weigh?
Oh, a lot. I don't know. I mean, it's not
It's all
light.
for
for
training, though.
sure. That in
Probably
the
like 3 pounds.
no way. No way. Yeah. Yeah, so probably not gonna bring
It's
this.
not. There.
Yummy.
If it makes you happy, though, like, it could go
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring it on a 2-day Northridge. I would bring it on like a 5-day mountaineering course. Yeah.
Mm.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cooking, camping.
Do we do clothing or climbing next? Because
Let's do
I think climbing's gonna be the most stuff.
most stuff or most like who knows what you're gonna bring. I'll do whatever.
I feel like we should
Everything.
do clothing because that can
Let's
go
do it.
anyway. So once again, theoretical. We're going in like summer months, so June or July probably to Northridge Baker. So
PNW.
yeah, PNW. So we talked about boots. Always bring 2 pairs of socks at least.
Did we talk about these?
We did not talk about boots. We're talking about boots. Talk about boots.
A couple choices for boots. I would. It depends on the weather what I would do, of course. These are like full mountaineering boots. They have a front toe well and a back heel well. They're good for putting fully automatic crampons on if you're doing a lot of ice climbing. Northridge does have ice climbing on it. You'd probably honestly be fine with what are they called? Avery,
I don't know what you're looking for.
the other boot,
Oh,
like this thing,
Dio? Oh,
like
no.
a hybrid. So this is another option for a boot which doesn't have the toe welt. It has the heel welt, so it fits crampons. But it's considerably lighter than this. I mean, it's tiny. It's much lighter. So I don't know what I would go with. You only have these.
Mm-hmm. They're a little bit more heavy duty than that, but they only have the heel well, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're fine. Definitely need at least a heel well though. You couldn't have like,
Just hiking boots for that route.
or just like, I guess let's talk about crampons. But yeah, you definitely need a mountaineering specific boot of some sort. The Nepals by La Sportiva are like the all-time classic, and they're a really good all-rounder. Those are the first ones Brian showed. Mine are like pretty gnarly.
These are yours.
Yeah, I need a new pair.
These are hers.
Um,
They're kind of falling apart a little
yeah,
bit.
I'm gonna get a new pair. But that's like a good all-rounder. If it's really cold, you generally are gonna need like a double boot, which you can go down a deep rabbit hole about that. If it's a little bit warmer, you can get away with like the lighter boots that Brian had. That's a double boot.
You
And if
really
you-
don't need these
Yeah,
unless
if
you're doing
it's
something
not,
silly.
do not, because your feet are gonna be sweating. Yeah. Anybody have like specific questions about boots? Because there's a lot. It's like tense. There's a lot that you can deep dive in.
Or shoes too.
Or
Like
shoes.
if we're hypothetically alpine climbing, Northridge doesn't have any rock, but then you debate: do you bring rock shoes or do you bring like a hybrid boot?
Hybrid
like,
boot, yeah.
and often in that debate, I don't bring climbing shoes. I'll just wear my
Those lighter boots.
yeah.
Yeah, those are really good.
Do you like
Both.
yeah like
I've climbed rock in those boots. Would I recommend? Maybe not. But you can do it.
depends on objective.
Yeah.
I have put on, I have climbed rock on like I think I had Nepal's on, I had rented them at the time, but we had crampons on too, and we were on like some really loose rock, and it was really difficult, but it was a guided trip, so it was one of those things I didn't fully have a choice, but I think a lighter boot in that situation of more mixed climbing for a longer time would have been better. So is that like secondary boot something better for something that's more of a July or an August climb versus a May or June?
Definitely, yeah. Especially in the PNW. Like
Mhm.
even sometimes early season, not so much on Baker, but on Rainier, they require you to have sometimes a double boot because it can get so cold.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
It kind of like shifts through it. So then like your all rounders that Nepal, right? And then you can totally get away later season. So yeah, usually July, August, September, with a lighter boot.
Cool.
I think if you're getting a boot, probably just those. Like
Yeah, if you're only gonna have one boot, definitely like this.
Yeah.
well,
Well, I had I'm really blanking on the name. I think it was the Equilibrias.
Oh yeah.
But my guide at the time, he said, I'm not gonna guide you with those boots because we've had crampons falling off. And I'm like, oh, I definitely don't want that.
That's classic.
So luckily I got them at REI, so I returned them, but I guess I don't have a boot right now, and I am definitely wanting to do more mountaineering stuff this spring, so I guess I'm in the
Nice.
market, but I don't want to have something crazy big for something like Adams, you know? It's not
Yeah.
so
Falls are a good place to start. There's also like what they call the women's version,
mhm.
the cubes, right?
I think
they're
that's
called
the
the
men's
cube.
version too, though.
Okay, then it's just a different version.
Mhm.
I think they're like slightly less warm. And they're like
That's
the
fine.
big version of the
Mhm.
Nepal.
I mean, in theory, if you're moving your feet around, you shouldn't be getting too cold, right?
In theory.
In theory. Yeah.
Your feet you can definitely still get cold in them.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. What are the scarf ones that are like? Oh, I don't know what they're called. But Scarf actually makes a really nice mid-weight boot as well.
Oh, like
The Mont Blancs, is that what they are? The Trancos. No, that's the Trancotech.
that's
Ah,
interesting. There's
really-
the
I know what you're talking about. I'm blanking on the name also because I've looked at boots a lot specifically recently, just like I said, because I'm in the market. But
this is what we
Yeah.
hmm. Yeah, I do think this would be heavy. Yeah, it is funny. Like heavy for Adams, but like okay for Baker anytime.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I also want to invest in a boot that I'm going to be able to do the bigger objectives.
Oh, do that.
Yeah, the Nepals are.
Because
go-to.
because I mean, I also would. My goal is to kind. I mean, sorry, I'm talking a lot more, but
No, you're fine.
I'd like to be able to ski all of these objectives too. But you know, we have beautiful summer months that to keep up your fitness is good to keep climbing the volcanoes. So, but you know, gear is really expensive, so it's like,
It's super expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would totally go if you just want to like get one boot. And I've done.
yeah.
I have like I don't have specifically Nepal's, but very similar. And
Mhm.
I've done everything in the Pacific Northwest in those. So I would say like
Mhm.
maybe they'll be a little bit heavy sometimes, maybe they'll feel a little bit chilly sometimes, but it's definitely something that you can do everything in.
Okay.
Whereas if you get something like a lighter weight boot or like a double boot, that's gonna be
I
too.
definitely don't want doubles because I don't think I'm gonna be doing. I mean, like maybe at some point with
Also,
some of the
if
bigger
you're
stuff,
saying you want
but
to ski stuff, like ski boots are
Just
super
for-
warm and
yeah,
proof. So like this would be a good boot to go along with also having this like a ski boot for ski objectives.
Cool. So you suggest the Nepal? You said.
Yeah, or
What
there's
was
like
the name?
these ones which are also by La Sportiva, and they're like
know the difference.
Oh, that's what
they
I.
seem a little bit late, like
Those
less-
were the ones.
They look less warm.
Yeah, they call them what I thought they were was like the women's version, which is dumb, but
Thought that's what they.
We love the pink tax.
usually.
No,
I
I
thought
don't
it was
think
the
it
women's
is.
version of them.
Oh wait, this says Nepal on it.
Yeah, these are the cubes.
But this
Also a six boot
cute.
though. No, but
I know.
Wait, but that might be. I can't really see it again because I'm on my iPhone. I think that's the boot. Is there a toe bell on the front?
yeah,
Oh, okay. I think that's the boot that I rented.
yeah.
So
Did you like it?
Cool. I think so.
Those are all. It's
And-
also like cool to rent boots and kind of try them out.
I
sometimes.
didn't get blisters and no foot pain until the very end, but that's expected.
That's pretty
I was
good.
gonna say like that's like even when you buy a boot, expect the first few times to get blisters.
Oh yeah.
Be prepared, yeah, for that.
The
Yeah.
best ever is get. I mean, I don't know. I have like big arches,
I
but
have these two.
yeah, get the little
Super
Oh, the
feet.
inserts, yeah.
just any other insert besides.
I
what
just
they-
got customs for the first time in my ski boots, and I like. It's just night and day, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made these significantly more comfortable for me. Okay, boots,
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Oh,
socks,
ques-
wool socks.
Question on top of the boots here.
Yeah.
So does that mean you have multiple pairs of crampons for each boot then? Because like, are you
Great
fitting the
question.
semi-automatic to the ones without the toe?
I would
Well,
say
and then-
just get. Yeah, you do this.
Um,
You
Usually-
change that out.
no, I'm not gonna do it.
No, no, no,
change
yeah,
that.
no.
I
You
mean,
just talk about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Someone put these back.
So to answer your question in short, no, you do not need multiple pairs of crampons. The cool thing, and I'm pretty sure the Black Diamond ones do it too. These are the which ones are these? These are the Sarkins by Petzl. They're like a little bit more aggressive on the toe, which is kind of nice because you can also like kind of ice climb these a good bit. But they come with. Oh my god, these are.
No, we don't have multiple crampons.
No, that's just because Brian's right. Oh my gosh, these are so tight up. Anyways, basically they'll come when they sell them to you, they'll come with like just the heel bail, right? Like they all come with this. And then it'll come probably with the plastic foot bail or toe bail, which is like can go on a boot that doesn't have that front thing. But then they also come with this fun little attachment, the middle one, and you can switch out this plastic with the middle. So if you have a front toe bail or you like doing
So
something,
one pair of crampons fitting both boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
And then you can
What if-
even
What
get
if you have
buy.
just universal?
Yeah. Well, you can
Do
also
you-
for these, if you want, you can also buy the plastic thing for the back and make
Mhm.
them universal as well. So like, would
Do
recommend. these.
you recommend using one over the other on specific mountains?
I would say semi or fully automatic is far better than universal, just because they slide way less. Some people say like fully automatic is a little more secure, and that's what they use in ice climbing. However, I have seen people's toes slip out of them sometimes. So I would debate that the semi or fully are kind of
Mhm.
going together.
Yeah, ice
Okay.
climbers definitely use
Yeah.
fully.
Yeah.
But for mountaineering, I would say either.
Mountaineering, I've heard the argument to not use fully. Have you heard this? Because of the joints in your leg.
No.
I think Aaron told me this or something.
No.
You want some flex in your step or something? I don't know. I do semi-auto.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Semi-auto.
for
full.
mountains.
Okay. What else do we got?
That's gloves.
Well, wouldn't a crampon's kind of like a ski boot? Wouldn't a crampon's integrity change as the temperature gets colder or warmer too? So a semi-automatic would be better to like be able to adjust to that.
Huh. Maybe. I don't
Maybe,
think
yeah.
my.
That's a good question.
I think the straps might move a lot if they get wet. That I've
Mhm.
had where they like expand when they get wet, and then you just readjust it, tighten it. I haven't really
Yeah.
had metal change too much.
Well, because on the semi it still has metal on it. It's just the plastic that like helps keep the strap, I think.
Or she's saying the plastic boot would change size.
Oh, honestly, wait, what?
Is that what she?
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
So I know that at like wicked cold temperatures or, you know, really warm temperatures, a ski boot can change its integrity of like how the flex can work and how the fit of the boot actually can function. I'm just wondering, does that ever happen with climbing gear, or do they kind of engineer it so that way it doesn't happen? Because you know, it's designed to kick into ice. I'm guessing that it probably has a pretty high cold tolerance. But
Yeah,
I might be doing the
metal
weights
is
too.
a lot different than plastic. 'Cause
Yeah.
the ski boots are all plastic.
Well, yeah, but I was talking more about like the plastic pieces on it.
On
But-
the
The semi-automatic.
semi-autos.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I haven't noticed it too much.
Probably yes, but nothing
But yeah, nothing noticeable.
super.
Like I said, it's a really weirdly specific question, more theoretical.
I also
that's
think
our
it's like
review.
easy to kind of just crank down your straps if it loosens up a little bit with the semi-automatic and
Mhm.
Whereas
I
fully
have those and I've liked them, so
these,
but I've only used them once. So
Yeah.
yeah.
they're great.
I would also put, I don't know if you already put in another vote for Petzl, but Petzl crampons are far superior to
Oh.
other crampons.
Petzl just makes
Just-
amazing equipment.
Yeah,
My humble opinion.
I mean, for sure.
Great.
Petzl's just
crampons.
great. I think their crampons are just more rugged than other brands. I don't know.
They come very sharp, so beware. Oh my gosh, yes. I've had people show up with brand new crampons and I'm like, go walk over those rocks because that's dangerous.
You're gonna stab yourself.
But that's awesome too.
All right, let's move on from
Yes.
booth. Crampons to talk about. I pretty much always bring a hard shell. Sierra boys, that's not necessarily the case. I don't think people bring hard shells in the Sierra. They never need them. In the PNW, I always bring it. I always bring a big puffy.
Big puffy.
Like this.
Yeah, usually like a base layer pant, especially if it's early season, not so much mid season, but early season you want to have like a base layer pant. And
What's
then,
your
like-
preference on alpine pant?
Oh, my favorite alpine.
Yeah.
pant? I'm a fan of the Arc'teryx ones.
Oh yeah. I mean, everyone has those.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like these black diamond ones are sick, but I have torn like a lot of holes in them already. Arc'teryx just makes amazing pants.
I agree with that.
However, black diamond does a good enough job.
I also agree with that. Black Donald.
What
Yeah.
about like a soft shell? Usually you don't need like like this is a good question. Or thing to bring up. Like, especially if you're a skier, a lot of people will show up with like skiing hard shells, right? Like a ski pant. And you don't necessarily need something that aggressive slash insulative slash waterproof, especially if it's going to be nice weather. You really only need like a soft shell alpine pant. That can be a hiking pant most of the time. Alpine pants just like often will have like a little bit different material here as kind of like a built-in gaiter. They also will have often like side pockets, so you can put like phones or maps here. That's pretty nice. What else is different from an alpine to a hiking pant?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're pretty
Not
similar.
saying.
Um,
Less pockets on alpine pants.
less
I
pockets.
feel like hiking pants always have.
And like I feel like a different material a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But anyways, yeah, skiing pants not necessary. And they're pretty warm, especially for walking. And then hard shell pant, I would say bring if it's gonna be rainy or snowy. If not, you probably don't
Ditch
need
it.
it.
Yeah. That's like often my first thing I ditch.
Yeah, for sure.
And then a tent soon after it.
Yeah.
Hard shell, big puffy. Gloves. I bring at least 2 pairs of gloves. I bring a light or like a medium weight, and then these gloves are stellar. They're the BD guide gloves, and they have like the inside thing. But any glove that will keep you warm, is what you want. So like, I mean, this goes with all I'm talking about, but test out your gear before you use it and know like how good it is. These guide gloves, I really love. They're extremely warm and very rugged. They're leather. You can re-waterproof them. This is like what's inside of it, and then it's just leather cover.
Don't wear mittens.
Don't wear mittens.
Gloves. Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah, go on.
Anytime, especially mountaineering, is just if you're dealing with ropes, you don't want to have mittens on. And then even if you're not the one, maybe you're going with a guide or something, right? So you're not really managing ropes. Even just holding ice axes can be really hard with a mitten. You can't get like the full grip that you need on it for it to be safe. For self-arrest, for example. They are warm, so it's kind of a bummer. You can bring them for camp, but for actual movement or climbing, you definitely want to have like the dexterity, even if it's like a big glove like this, right? Like you maybe can't like do little things, but you can grip your ice axe. And then if it comes to any rope work or knot tying, it's pretty impossible with mittens on.
What are those gloves called again?
These are the BD guide gloves.
Thick skis in that too.
Yeah, Vic skis and I name them too. They're like a lot of people's like go-to very warm glove. And they last a really long time. Like I've had these, I don't know, a long time. I don't know.
A mid to like
Right.
late season stuff, you don't need such a warm glove. Like classic, like handyman, like leather gloves are also awesome,
Yeah.
especially for any sort of like rope work.
Anything rugged for rope work.
Yeah, like you can buy like the sick black diamond or Petzl ones, like belay gloves and whatnot. But you can also just like go to the hardware store and like what are the classic Kinko skier gloves? It's kind of like that variation,
Yeah.
but for climbing. Yeah, leather gloves are great. What other layers? Oh,
Hat,
I bring like a
Buff.
warm hat and like a sun hat.
sun hat.
Sun hat, like 5-panel hats, great for wearing a helmet on top, I would say.
Everyone needs to also compliment Avery on her cute hat,
My
which
parents
has
gave it to
a
me for
fox.
for my
on it.
birthday. I'm very excited about it. But
Yeah, I definitely bring a sun hat.
sun hat.
Sun hat. Baseball cap.
Baseball
That's
cap.
what it's called.
But like sometimes like the little what are the ones that have like the nut on the top? You
Those
know?
are awful.
Like the pen.
the
if you-
pin.
Yeah, like what
The
is
nut.
it? You like
I
put a-
got a new attachment. It's Velcro, a visor that just attaches to my helmet. And so
That's sweet.
I don't need to worry about hats anymore because it's just on the helmet. It's my
Oh.
new favorite piece of gear.
That's so sick. Yeah.
Except then you can't not wear your helmet. So that kind of sucks,
Yeah.
but
Hey, maybe that's a added benefit too.
yeah.
Yeah, safety first. Buffs super important. You can put them on your face or your ears.
Sun hoodie.
Sun hoodie, huge.
I
Great
love
for
sun
base
hoodies.
layer too.
I like sun hoodie as my base layer.
Yeah.
Cause then like it gets hot on glaciers sometimes, and I've definitely been in just my sun hoodie and have the hood up, and I'm just like hiding from the sun, my buff up and my glacier glasses, and I'm just like hiding away. But having your base layer have a hood is really useful.
Mm-hmm. For sun and warmth.
Yeah, I like a sun
Protection,
hoodie
yeah.
or any sort of base layer with a hood. I'll just generalize that by calling them sun hoodies.
It is nice if it's mid-season to have like a light base layer. Some people like, I mean, yeah, like naturally you think base layer and it's like something warmer. If it's like mid to late season, so this is like July through September, and at least in the Pacific Northwest, you don't want anything like merino wool or anything as that as your base layer because you will sweat and be so miserable.
We've
You want
had
something
people literally
breathable.
turn around because
Yeah, it's just
it's too hot because they wore too many layers.
Yeah, it's confusing because like you
Yeah.
would think long johns, but yeah, sun hoodies are great or any breathable base layer. A mid layer for your top, so like a fleece or I've gotten into like the wind breakers recently that are like surprisingly super warm or a soft shell.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
vest. I'm a huge fan of vests. Not everybody is, but I think
Nope.
it's a great layer because it keeps your core warm, but it's not. It's so small.
Huh.
I'm wearing a vest right now, actually.
Show it off.
Yeah.
Oh, you are wearing a vest.
Vests.
You are, yeah. You wear vests
I
a
love
lot,
it.
actually. I hate vests.
Yeah.
Not team vest.
You gotta just figure it out for yourself. And then yeah, always like a warm puffy, whether it's like a parka like this
Always.
or like a mid weight puffy. Even if you don't think you need it, it's good to have. It's kind of like a sleeping bag scenario, you know. I think that's it for. Oh, glacier glasses
Glacier glasses. Yeah, if you're going on a glacier,
or snow.
certainly. Yeah, or like bright snow.
You
Glacier
need
glasses
glacier
are key.
glasses.
That way you don't go blind.
Yeah.
There was this sunscreen guy that came and did a presentation at where we used to work, and he talked about how powerful the sun is at high elevations, and it was really crazy. So I can't talk about it as well as he can, but I wear my glacier glasses and my intense sunscreen now,
And your buff like them.
and my buff like up to here. Let's talk climbing gear.
Yeah.
Anyone have questions on clothes? Like,
Or
what do
layering.
you guys prefer? What do you like? Who's got a trick? Teach us something. Rusty.
I don't have any tricks, but I definitely live by the sun hoodie as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hate sunscreen, so it's always just I just cover my body instead, and then I don't need sunscreen.
Green's the
Even
worst. So yeah. Okay.
Do you have any tips for people with Renaults?
Oh,
great.
the
question.
peanut
Vic
gallery.
has green nods. I mean the guide gloves. I'm just gonna say what Vic uses. She uses guide gloves for her hands. For her feet, she just recently got heated socks. That is not something she uses out in the mountains, because it's like chargeable, and if they die, then you're just screwed. She does a lot of wool, a lot of preventative stuff, like staying warm is a lot easier than getting warm. So like hot liquids, drinking hot beverages.
Keeping your
That's-
fingers moving, like when you walk. I don't have Renaults, but I have been told that like even if you're like holding an ice axe or like a ski pole, you can like hold it and like wiggle your fingers, you know? Like if you keep them in movement, it helps a lot. And it like gives you something to do.
She also like certainly doesn't change gloves sometimes, specifically because it's like her changing her gloves is the issue. I don't know if that's the best move, but that's just what she does. Like obviously if your gloves are totally soaked, you'll probably want to change them, but just be cognizant of that. I know
What do
sometimes
you need?
she'll change gloves and not realize.
Thank you.
I muted Rusty. I think he can unmute himself, I hope. Oh, Reynard. I also think that heated socks are a game changer for like day things.
skiing.
Yeah, for like skiing. Oh my goodness, she loves those. Yeah. I got
Yeah.
anything else. You just don't have Raynaud's? I'm just kidding. Leah, do you have Raynaud's?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She's momming right now though, so she can't hear you.
Uh,
Sweet. Climbing?
climbing. Harness. If you're getting a harness for like glacier mountaineering and like alpine climbing where you're not actually rock climbing, then you'll probably want like a light thing like this. This is the Blue Ice something or other. And it's great. That's the Petzl version. They're all basically the same. One key thing for if you're spending a lot of time in snow on glaciers is having a harness that is not absorbable fabric. Because if it absorbs water, then it's going to freeze and just keep you cold.
Like a rock climbing harness.
Yeah, so like rock climbing harnesses don't work as well. They still work. They're gonna hold you up over a crevasse and be fine, and you'll probably be a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
But if you're investing in a lot of glacier travel, then you might as well. Don't buy a climbing harness to like do a bunch of volcanoes. Just buy the cheap, like
Alpine harness.
Yeah. Someone bought an alpine harness the other day to go climbing in the gym. I was like, nah,
Ooh.
so close. That's awful. It's cheap, I get that, but you
Oh,
should
my
return it to REI and get. So harness. I use the triple action for my attachment point from the rope to my harness. You can use double carabiner. I find triple action to be a good application for that. For my climbing kit, I guess for my glacier kit, I have this. So I have a tie block and a pulley. I have a prusik and a double length sling, a knife. This is a Blue Ice like magic sling thing. It's just like a personal anchor. A belay device, ATC with the guide loop, and then a micro traction on another triple action locker and a triple length sling. So that's my kit for like glacier travel in general. This hypothetical trip we're on, there is climbing as well. So I would use the ATC for belaying, on lead or following. And that goes to this gear, which would be ice screws. This totally depends on what you're climbing, so bring whatever ice screws make sense. If it's alpine ice, you'll probably want longer ice screws. And then pickets. There's a bunch of different kinds of pickets.
This one is awesome.
Yeah, get the Yaesorn.
Pickets are for snow, and you can learn a lot about pickets. But basically, if you're traveling in snow, so like having to set up a crevasse rescue system, or even just like pitching out steep snow, that an ice screw will not stay in. You can only put ice screws in ice.
Yeah, it's okay, Winnie.
Pickets are awesome. There's a bunch of different types. These are all, what are these, BB safe pickets? There's like T shapes as well, which basically like the metal is just put. Oh yeah, you can see it. So here's like a T picket. Can you see it like makes a T? This one's a V, or I guess they're an A picket. They serve the same purpose. In snow, it's all about how you place them and where you're putting your cord. These holes are for putting cord into, or sometimes you can even get them with like a metal or a metallic cord already in them, and that makes like a super solid picket for creating a station cable. That's what not cord.
One of those metallic cords.
But pickets are awesome. Generally, like a rule of thumb, you want to have probably 2 to set up an anchor in the snow. However, there are ways around that to like use an ice axe as your other anchor. So probably 1 per person is suitable if you're traveling in snow or on a glacier, I would say.
I think practice with what you have too. Like if you've practiced with 2 pickets, then bring 2 pickets. If you practice techniques to do it like where you can bury your ski and use that ski mountaineering, then okay, then you can think about like not bringing a picket and save the weight there. But yeah, bring what you're practiced in.
Totally.
Other climbing? Helmet. There's not much to helmets.
Get one that's comfy
Get one that's comfy.
and is rated for
And
what you're gonna do.
don't do the classic thing where people don't, you know what I'm about to say? People don't, there's this thing, I forget what, do you know what this is called on your head?
Like your lower cranium.
I don't know, but people don't move this thing down. This thing, you got to move this thing down like
Like,
that,
sit lower on your.
and then it sits here, as opposed to the people that don't do it, and then they're like this.
Big douche.
They are, yeah, they're like this, and then it's like not comfortable, and they're like, I don't know what's wrong with my helmet, it just doesn't fit.
I showed someone that the
But
other
really,
day.
you just need to bring this thing down,
It, like,
then
kinda tucks
tighten
your
it.
head.
and it gives you a nice hug, and it covers your personality, which lives here.
I feel like I'm gonna go downstairs and look at my helmet and realize I'm the person doing that my whole life.
Probably.
The wrong way or something.
Life changing. You're like, oh, it's so much comfier.
Yeah, crazy.
I showed someone that the other day and she was just thought she had a really big head and Nick was like, why doesn't it fit?
Yeah,
And I showed her and she was like, that's amazing.
people do that all the time.
Yeah,
Other gear, trekking poles are nice.
totally.
Yeah, I often like on Baker, I'll have one trekking pole and I'll have an ice axe in the other hand. So trekking pole in one hand, ice axe in the other hand. We didn't talk about ice axes. Let's talk about ice axes.
Ice axes. There's a lot of different types of ice axes. In our theoretical trip, we are going to the Northridge, so you would bring two a little bit more technical ice axes. However, there's like the classic like straight shaft, which is something like this, which like for the big 5 volcanoes, for example, in Washington on the normal routes, you don't need anything technical.
Yeah, this would be great for those kind of things. It's rugged.
Super
It's
heavy.
everything you need. Yeah, it's super heavy. No, I mean this is totally great.
No, it's a great, yeah. When you get into things that are a little bit more steep, technical, you're not just walking. That's when you're gonna get into like semi-technical alpine axes, which these are the blue ice ones. How do you say this? Aquila?
IKEA?
Aquillas?
I don't know.
These are Brian's. They're kind of cool. You have the
Really?
Petzl basically versions of the same.
Yeah.
business. They have like what this is called like a little pommel. So like if you're on like doing like steep snow or something, you can like kind of make them into like an ice climbing axe in a way, right? A little bit comfier. It sits on your hand. These are super light, which is also nice.
Yeah, compare them to your ice tool ice tools. So yeah, this would be great for like a Mount Baker Northridge kind of thing, where you're going up, you're climbing technical ice, so you bring the pommel down and you can actually swing, and then you're descending a glacier, you can just move this pommel up, put the other one in your pack, and you have this to self-arrest if you need it. These would be more technical for like actual ice climbing, and you're not worried about weight as much. It's got a heavy head to like
really
add
nice.
momentum to when you're swinging into ice. It's great if you're doing harder ice, but not needed for our Mount Baker trip.
Yeah, or like the Couts on Rainier or something. These are cool too though because they still have like a spike on the end, so you can still like plunge them into the snow because these aren't full ice climbing axes.
Oh, that's a solid point. I brought
Yeah.
with this.
I gotta go, guys, but thank you so much for everything.
See you,
Looks like
Rusty.
a couple
Thanks for
other people
joining.
joined anyways. Yeah.
You're good. That's a solid point, but being able to plunge your axe is really nice for traveling on glaciers. This obviously would not be able to plunge into snow, which you'd think is really obvious, but I brought this on. What was that
TNF.
thing? Yeah, Torrent TFT, Torrent Forbidden Traverse. And I had this and this one I was like, okay, I can plunge and I can like side hill this steep, snowy thing and like use it. And then this other one was totally useless. I was just like, okay, this is not helpful. So
It's too aggressive.
think about that. Yeah, it's too aggressive. It has this weird handle, which is great for ice climbing and swinging it, but it's not good for climbing alpine stuff. Yeah. Oh, talk about length. Can you talk about length?
Oh, length also depends. So like if you go to REI, they'll do the classic like put it down next to you and it should be like above your ankle. Generally it depends on what you're doing. You don't usually need one shorter than longer. You'll see people show up with these like super long ones. And that's just super not necessary because if you're on like a slope angle, right? So like you're traversing, so like uphill, downhill, this thing's gonna be like up here poking into the snow. It's already gonna be kind of big. That's why like these little ones are also great for lots of different things. It is kind of nice to have like a straight shaft a little bit longer on like normal routes, especially the Washington volcanoes, because you can just kind of use it as like a cane. But honestly, length doesn't matter too much. I would actually usually go shorter than longer just because you're not going to be like getting all caught up in it, and it's not going to be like up here as you're like trying to walk along. Yeah. Cool. What else do we have for
Oh.
climbing? Do you talk about rope?
Oh, rope. Yeah, there's a lot of options for ropes actually. That's a solid point. So I'd recommend single rated 40 meter 9 mil. Like the Petzl rope. That one's great for just for a lot of applications, for glaciers, for if you're doing like Northridge, you can pitch things out if you need to with a single rated rope. And it's pretty versatile. I wouldn't recommend that if you're super into rock climbing, then you should get like a 60 meter or 70 meter rope if you're doing technical pitches. But a lot of the volcanoes in the PNW, you can get away with a 40 meter. If you've got like a team of 3, then that's kind of a great length. You can do, so I mentioned single rated, there's also half rated ropes. I don't recommend traveling on a half rated rope on a glacier because if you did fall, you'd be taking a legitimate fall on a half rope. I don't know. People do it for sure. If you want to save weight, then that's fine. If you're trying to invest in mountaineering, then just get a single rated rope. Oh, and dry treated. If it's not dry treated, it's going to turn to an ice pillar.
Can you describe what you mean by half rated?
Yeah, totally. So where is this thing? So on the ends of all of the ropes, and when you're buying a rope, it'll say what they're rated for. So this is a rope that's rated for half and twin. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a little, it literally has like 2 circles like interlocked like this. And then it has the half symbol. It just says 1/2, I think. And so what that means is this rope is meant to be used with another rope.
That's also a half rope.
That's also a half rope, and they're used in unison. So
used for
I
like
would-
ice climbing or something.
Yeah, exactly. So
Got
things you use twin ropes for is like ice climbing or long like alpine rock climbs that maybe you want redundancy in your rope, right? The only thing that's not redundant in most of our systems is the rope. We just have one of them. Half ropes kind of get rid of that. You're using 2 ropes and they're half the size, but there's 2 of them. So ice climbing, it's really nice because if you sever one, you have the other one, or you can clip them independently if it's half or twin. I don't remember. Often you can clip them independently. So you can clip one like on this side, one on this side, if it's a traversing route for rock specifically. But the key is not using a half rated rope in a single rated rope application. Like taking a fall, you don't want to just be on a 7 mil rope. You would want something that is rated to take an actual fall. Did that answer that? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
you.
There's also like, so like this is like the same weight as what I was just holding, but it's a single rated, dry treated.
It's only 40
Rope.
meter, yes.
I think that's actually only 30.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Let's do this. If you're super into ski mountaineering,
The baby rad line.
the baby rad line, half a rad
How
line.
do we, how, what is the width of this?
And this is where it's like 6.
It's cordelet.
And this I think is like technically probably a half. Oh, it's not even rated.
You do not want to take big falls on this.
Yeah, you don't want to take big falls on it, but ski people use it all the time because they think it's a good idea.
Is that just to carry lighter weight?
Yeah, it's just to go lighter.
Figure it later.
And-
And generally skiing, it's not like you're gonna be taking big, or you shouldn't be taking big falls.
Yeah,
If
you're not going
concerned
to.
about that, you probably don't.
Yeah, I would say if you're in the market, get a single rated, like 9 mil. I think that Petzl, the orange Petzl rope, whatever that's called, is great. That thing's dry
You can
treated.
use it for anything.
Use it for anything. It's rugged. We use it all the time. And it
It's like
holds
not
up.
that heavy either. Like compared to like a rock climbing rope, it's pretty light. I
Mhm.
mean, it's heavier than like a rad line, of course, but it's not like impossibly heavy.
And you can use it on like technical things. So like
Mhm.
if we were doing Northridge of Mount Baker, you could
Ice.
we could just bring that. Yeah, it's ice, it's rock. You just do shorter pitches, but it's
Yeah, it's
versatile. Okay.
Is that all the gear? I think.
That's all the gear, I think. Other
Yeah.
questions on gear? Anything? Okay, what's our next
Other.
other? InReach.
Mhm.
That's other. I've lost ones. Bring an
What's in
InReach.
here?
Where is my InReach?
Oh, here's mine. I have an Anderson.
Nine. This Mountain Monday is so much more scattered than the previous weeks.
This is an inReach. It's a GPS or a satellite phone, sorry.
Satellite device.
Satellite device. It's not a phone. You're
Yeah.
right. Important to take to places that honestly anywhere, even if you have service, it's a good idea to bring something like this if shit hits the fan. Because it won't die like a cell phone will. You can send a message or an SOS from literally anywhere. It's just a really important thing to have in like an oh shit scenario.
Even like
Or just casually.
yeah, just casually. Well, I was gonna say
Yeah.
a couple of friends last season went ice climbing, were out of service, forgot their InReach, ice climbed, had a great time, and then they got their car stuck on the way out. And they were like out in the middle of nowhere for the entire night, basically, just trying to get their car out, and they eventually got out and they were fine. But in the meantime, everyone was searching for them.
Sensation.
Yeah, and it was like this big ordeal, and they just got stuck, and they got out and they were fine. But if they had their InReach, they could have just said like, "Hey, I'm gonna be late.
Yeah, car stuck or
Car
something.
stuck. Send tow truck." You know, it doesn't have to be like something crazy to need an InReach. Or if you have the new iPhones, apparently those are good.
Apparently they're not as reliable as an actual.
I
Yeah.
I don't doubt that. Yeah,
But-
I bet they're not. That's
So I would still say it's worthy to buy an inReach.
worthy.
Worthy.
Any others? Wag bags.
Oh, wag bag.
Or just some plan for pooping. So like
Oh.
I mentioned using Mountain House bags after.
Sunscreen and chapstick seem silly. We've kind of talked about it.
Is this just the other bag?
Is my other
Nice.
bag.
Toothbrush, toothpaste,
Face wipes.
face wipes.
Yeah,
Face wipes are nice.
it's really nice. I think that's all that's in my other bag. Oh well.
First aid kit
First aid kit.
that includes like everything you need, medication, all your medication. I don't know, everything.
I would say like a big thing people don't think of is bringing something like hydration pills or packets. Like something that's not necessarily like a dire situation, but like it's something that people forget about a lot and like can help somebody out of like feeling crappy. Or like a goo or something, right? Like to give people energy. They're gross, I think. But like we were like helping people out of an accident once, and this lady was completely bonking, and like we just gave her a goo and it helped her a lot. So like they little things like that. Gloves are important.
That's crazy.
gauze, band-aids. Ibuprofen is like huge.
Tampons.
Tampons.
Even
are
if you're a
awesome.
guy, I have tampons in my first aid kit.
Yeah, they're like
Put tampons in your
amazing
first aid
for
kit.
stopping bleeding, or if you
Or
yeah,
if you were
someone
on
gets
your
their
period. Yeah. That's the
Tampons
classic.
are awesome.
Yeah, that's
One
every
time,
first aid course.
you were on a trip with 3 ladies and nobody had tampons and
And no one
you
asked
did.
me.
No, we did.
Oh, you
We took
did?
all your tampons.
Oh yeah.
Because none of us brought them
Yeah,
and
that's
you're
right.
like on it. Oh, nail clippers is like kind of a silly
Nail
one,
clippers
but
is
can
nice.
be handy.
I have those tiny ones that are.
A multi-tool is useful. Definitely a pocket knife. of
We're
some
definitely
sort.
missing things. So don't go out and kill yourself because you didn't bring, I don't know, propane for your stove because we didn't mention it.
Yeah.
What other items, general other things do people like to bring? Annie likes chiming in. She's gonna tell us what she brings. We had Rusty here before. Like I like my espresso maker. The good other.
I like my face wipes and my my Kindle.
Yeah.
A book.
People bring Kindles for sure. If we're doing
Cards.
If we're doing Northridge, you're not
No,
bringing
I'm
your
not bringing my
Kindle.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's all we got for today. Other general questions? Jay Duffy, thanks for joining. I think
Doug.
the time zone was probably wrong or something. Because he showed up exactly an hour into it. It was probably an application thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll post-
probably.
Yeah, like my notification thing on my hosting platform always sends the wrong times.
Oh, that's brutal.
So I might email you and ask you to send me forward you the notification thing you got. But I'm gonna post this
Okay.
on YouTube anyway, and it's certainly more scattered than the previous ones, but you're welcome to watch it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait.
Cool. Thanks for coming, guys. If you don't have any last comments or questions, good luck. We'll see you next month. If you have ideas for next month too,
Things you want to
yeah, what were we talking? Photography, mountain photography. Avery's a photographer. Yeah, talking about periods and how to deal with menstruating in the mountains. That could be the menstruating in the mountains. Mondays. Monthly. Mondays.
Just
Yeah, photography.
periods. That's all.
Oh, and training. I was talking to Ty about training.
That'd be sick.
And ski. I was talking to Vic about ski specific stuff. I think that's probably most applicable right now.
Oh yeah.
I would be totally down for that.
Yeah, same here.
Hell
That's 2
yeah.
votes for ski.
That should be
I
good.
also appreciate the period recognition. I feel like you normally don't hear about that in these kind of things. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that's what we're trying
Love it.
trying to do. It's totally normal and happens to over half the
I-
population, so gotta talk about it.
Yeah,
half
you're
the
like
population.
51%. Yeah.
As far as ideas go, I'm kind of interested in like anything kind of talking about like trad climbing, multi-pitch stuff, like other considerations I
That'd
mentioned,
be
like
my
rappelling.
Cool. Trad climbing.
Yeah, or breaking it down into smaller subjects, I guess.
Yeah. They do like building anchors, placing gear.
Yeah.
Like multi-pitch climbing efficiently. Oh, I love talking about that.
What's on your trad rack, or what do you take for different types of trips?
Cool. Yeah, I could talk for a while on that one for sure. I'll put that. Don't be surprised if I don't do that immediately. Mainly because I have these people here right now that can talk about more like photography, and Ty can talk about training. And I know I can talk about trad climbing, so I might keep that in my pocket and like wait until I've got no one to bring in, and like, man, I guess I'll just talk about trad climbing.
Aw.
No problem. Interested in all of it. So thanks for doing these.
Cool. Yeah. Well, sounds good. We'll see you guys next month.
All
Join in.
right.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.